So, big win for Ireland at the weekend. Great for the team to get a win. Ireland 29, Italy 8. Will, as a player, how does that feel? You know, third game of the campaign, getting your first win at home in front of a nice crowd down in Musgrave Park. How are you feeling?
Yeah, no, look, it's great to get a result because I think, new coaching staff, new system, they'd be disappointed with the first two games, and that's just the way it is. But to actually see the joy coming at when they're actually playing that bit of shape, getting width, it's really exciting to watch and getting scores off. The first 20 minutes, I'd say they would have been frustrated looking at that. But once the maul got going, it was just Italy couldn't handle it. But no, I think even looking from previous campaigns I've ever been involved in, it's first two games to lose is difficult, but from here it's all they're coming off the back of a good win, so you don't know where it can go from here.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a nice game to get the win. You still have 2 games left to try and improve and build on that. But
that maul defence there, we've seen Eve Jones get the try off that, and it's something obviously that they've worked on this campaign. It wasn't great in the first match. Do you think that really helped them in this game, compared to that first game, which we seen their maul wasn't there at all?
Well, I think just in general what we saw in that Italy game was that as the game went on, they really grew into it and their confidence grew, and they started to play a really nice brand of rugby and get their explosive, dangerous players going. But yeah, in particular, our set piece against Italy massively improved. Our scrum looked better. Our line out still a little off and not quite cohesive yet, but as you said, our maul attack worked a little bit better. We got that nice try for Eve Jones, her first, a special moment, but the maul defence itself was a little bit better again, because again, teams are going to be focusing and looking at that and going, that's an area of weakness, and they kind of improved on it a little bit. So.
And there was a change of players in the team for kind of the first time. We had Hannah O'Connor in there, Catherine Dane starting at 9. Do you think that made a difference to the game?
Yeah, I think Greg got his selections pretty spot on in that. I'm sure there was a lot of players disappointed. We've all been in that situation where you're left out of the match day 23 or moved from starting to the bench, but it is in the best interest of the squad for who he picks. And I thought Hannah O'Connor stepped up really well at number 8. Catherine Dane brought a lot of tempo and just that kind of calm, cool collectiveness that you need from a 9. I've been kind of vouching for her to start for a long time, and I think I was quite justified.
I must be listening in.
You know Catherine Dane quite well, and what type of a player she is from her time at Leinster.
And that's the thing, she has such a nice pass, and you can see that the forwards are getting involved or in interplay because they're able to push that little step wider. She's getting them involved, and even from that I found that Stacey just playing that kind of pressure rugby game, the Italians were throwing a lot at them, and then you see Stacey kind of kicking the corners. Even at, it was on 25 minutes, she put it into the corner, and then Parsons comes and tackles her into touch, and it's just that was the turning of the tide. That's where you kind of saw you're oh yeah, look, this is they're out here to play, and it was great to see. So that's exciting to, going forward, that kind of kicking game. I know obviously with the Sevens tournament coming up, it could be a different selection, but
Stacey's a hugely unpredictable player, and I think what makes her so dangerous is that she's really developed that kicking game, and she is a really good runner and stepper as it is. She has a wonderful pass, and she kept that Italian midfield completely guessing. Beatrice Rigoni from the Italian team is a super player, but she wasn't in the game at all because Stacey just had her each time, and as I said, she was kicking into corners, pinging it, sticking up high, and just kept them guessing and really controlled that game. But she was given good quality ball from her 9 and 10 to be able to do that. It's great to see them expanding and growing into that and getting the ball to our dangerous players.
And Eve Higgins then, she obviously had a brilliant try. It was the...
I'm sick of talking about Eve. I feel like every weekend she has a great game. And
try of the round for her. But what do you think of her performance so far this tournament? I suppose we've been talking about her every week, but she had another brilliant match.
Yeah, so you kind of highlighted her earlier as being a kind of a key player and one that you've really enjoyed watching.
And that's the thing, I think... She takes on the line a lot. There's all playing shape and stuff, but when she has ball in hand, she's unpredictable. She'll kind of run at gaps, and it keeps defenders guessing. And that's the thing. She's got that bit about her that you can't really take your eye off her, and she has been exciting, I think, through the whole campaign. But even like I said, it was great to see her get over for the try, smile on her face. I'd say Catherine now, she'd be laughing at her kick, but
she meant that. She absolutely meant
but
that.
onto her equal. But no, it was great. She has had a great campaign. It was summed up really there over the weekend.
Yeah, and I think it's really starting to show the relationship that Stacey and Eve have. You can tell that they've been playing together for years. They both play at Railway. They're both in the 7 setup, and they know each other and complement each other really, really well. And I think Ireland as a whole are going to benefit from that. And they're both able to move the ball and get it to the likes of Bevan Parsons, Emer Considine, Amy Lee Murphy-Crowe, and we just want to keep defences from guessing. And you can't shoot up because they'll kick it in behind. You ease off and Stacey will take you on, and it's the kind of rugby we want to see, and we want to see Ireland on the front foot, and we probably didn't get to see that in the first 2 games.
Mm-hmm. And then we had Christy Haney starting as well. What did you make of her?
Yeah, look, I actually was really impressed by her. I thought her outing against France was really impressive. Nice carries and tackles, and she really solidified the scrum up a little bit in the Italian game. Her first start, she's been around rugby a very long time, so I was delighted for her to get her first start in a home crowd, and I thought she did quite well, and it was a nice calm presence. She's a real calm head in her, and again, another who loves playing the game. I don't really know what's going on in the scrum, Will, I'm not going to lie, but from what I could see, she was doing a good job in there.
No, and that's the thing, she's controlling it really well, setting up a really good platform, because at the end of the day, forwards, it's all about kind of putting the team on their front foot. You're trying to get that go forward ball, and it all starts from scrum and line out. And to see the scrum kind of have such a strong platform to play off, it just opens up the back line. And it is a really exciting back line, and you want to get them on the ball as much as possible. So I suppose you have to be unselfish in the pack in ways, in terms of they're kind of the unseen jobs, locking down the scrum and stuff. But that's I suppose the beauty of the game.
Yeah, and that's what it is. It's that you're working as a unit, as an 8 together, to provide that go forward ball, get really good movements off it, and it is that dirty work that you kind of don't get a lot of praise for. But then again, you have someone like Sam Monaghan who's getting a lot of praise recently, and it's well deserved because of that dirty work that she's doing. But she's pairing it up with, again, some wonderful tackles, some wonderful breaks and offloads, and I think she's been a massive addition to this Ireland pack, particularly when we've lost the likes of Lindsay Peat, Ciara Griffin, Claire Malloy, who added such physicality to our team.
And her player of the match, it was nearly very hard worked for over the course of the whole campaign. But Will, you said there that we have our explosive backline, and obviously we're going to utilise it. But obviously, looking ahead 2 weeks into future England, we're losing pretty much that whole back line. What do you think that's going to mean for the team?
Yeah, well, it's obviously it's disappointing that a few of them are going to be stepping out, but it's also a great opportunity to blood in some new girls, and that's the thing. It's exciting because England is an incredible challenge, and not many people get the chance to play there. So to open up that opportunity for other girls to get out there, get a taste of the top level rugby, that's huge going forward, and getting the result to be incredible. So please God.
I think it's right. We've talked about this being a new era, we're building, and we're trying to get experience. This is where we build that experience and build that depth. We know now what Stacey Flood and Eve Higgins and Bevan Parsons and Amy Lee Murphy-Crowe and all them can do. And yes, they're going to go off in 7s, and I hope they have a fantastic tournament, because they're coming off the back of a silver medal, and we hope they can do something similar coming up with Langford. But this is an opportunity for some of those players that have been training the last 6, 7, 8 weeks, putting in the hard work but not getting a jersey at the end of the day, to step up and say, do you know what, I'm good enough here. I'm going to do everything I can to get this team on the front foot and do everything right, and hopefully then they can keep a jersey for that Scotland game. But it is all about building experience, building squad depth, and that will only help us in the long run. I'm not sure we'll get a result on the day. England are looking you know, pretty incredible. But again, you look at the women's soccer team last night, nobody expected them to get anything out of the Sweden game, and they did. So anything is possible in sport, but it will be really great to see girls who've been working hard, get a jersey, get an opportunity, and put up a fight, because, you know, you don't need to ask anybody to get fired up when you're playing against England, particularly away from home. So
and we have the likes of like Molly Scruffle-McCabe, like she might come into that back line. So do you think, who would you like to see step up? I suppose there's Maeve O'Leary as well. Do you think these players will be able to retain positions after?
Yeah, look, I suppose you can't know what's kind of going on inside Greg's head, and again, they have to take the opportunity that's handed to them if they're given a jersey. But down in Musgrave Park at the weekend, they had a couple of extra players with them just in case of injury, but the likes of Molly Scuffle-McCabe was there. We also had Michelle Claffey down there, Maeve O'Leary. All those were extra players who I would believe will come into the 23 next week. A couple of them are, like, you know, Molly is uncapped. Maeve O'Leary has, I think, maybe 2 caps, 1 cap. So that is it's a daunting place to go to. You know, England, they're current Six Nations champions. It'll be tough, but who doesn't want to make their debut against England and potentially cause an upset?
And that's the thing, like you said, you don't need any motivation there, because, you know, people will be itching for a chance to play over there. And that's, you know, they're, like you said, they're opportunities that are, like, they don't come around too often, and to get a chance, if you get to make your debut over there, and that's the thing, but if their backs are against the wall, they could easily pull a result out of there, and, you know, it's exciting.
But like, nothing is guaranteed in sport. Just because you had the number 7 jersey for the last game doesn't mean you're guaranteed it in the next game, even if you played the game of your life. And so those Sevens girls who are going off to Langford know that someone else is itching to go to take their place, to take that opportunity, and when they come back, they're going to have a battle on their hands to get a jersey back. And that's what you want, because competition in the squad improves the standard overall, then it improves the team, and it makes it competitive when it comes to games, and makes you have to be a better player if you want a jersey.
And what would you both like to see from the game? Obviously, England are kind of favourites.
Is that too much to ask?
If the win wasn't on the cards, what would you be hoping to see from what will probably be a lot of new caps and new players in there?
I think just a lack of unforced errors, you know. So if we could just get our basic handling and execution right, that will create opportunities, regardless of who you're playing. If you get your handling and execution of plays right, space will open up if everybody does their job right. So against France, we didn't give ourselves an opportunity because we knocked on so many balls and we gave away so many penalties. If we could cut that out, you know, and put in a performance and fought for 80 minutes, I'd be very happy with that.
And Will, what do you think?
Yeah, like I'd love now to see them all going forward again. I think we got a glimpse of how destructive it can be, and you'd love to see more of that. But then even defensively, you know, I always find you see kind of the passion and fight in teams, how they shape up defensively, and I'd love to see that, you know, girls coming off the line, making big hits, you know, trying to get turnovers, and that's where you see that kind of that camaraderie, that kind of collective team spirit. I always find that's always in the defence, so I'd love to see a bit of that. But
question for you, would you rather score a try or make a dominant hit?
A dominant hit all day.
It's an interesting one. You'd know he was a forward.